The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences. I know we're usually talking about kids' cartoons and stuff, but there's going to be naughty language. Anyway, listener discretion is advised. Got my water, got my cozy blanket, got my dog who looks high as fuck right now. It's a good day.
You're listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast, your weekly home for animation reviews and discussions.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Once again, we are continuing our stint of Christmas episodes. Christmas fatigue is setting in so much that we lost Kyle.
He's incapacitated.
Literally. Kyle hurt his back at work, and now he's like doped up on pain meds, I guess. So
you won't be hearing him for the next 3 episodes.
Yeah, Kyle had to drop out of doing the rest of the Christmas episodes, but he'll be back at the end of the month when we do our year in review thing. Whatever.
Decade in review.
Yeah. Oh, spoil. I was trying to be low key, but whatever. So yeah, we're continuing our Christmas episodes. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm JD, and that's Matt over there.
Yeah, that's me.
I almost forgot to introduce us.
Right.
For those new listeners that come so frequently.
Yeah, of course.
So we are talking about a holiday short that I guess is near and dear to my heart, and its sequel that was made 30 years later. That I didn't know existed until about 4 days ago. Which we are talking about Snowman. God, when was this? When?
It's
what?
1982.
80. Oh, I don't know why I keep thinking it was made in the 60s.
Well, the original book was made in the 70s, I think.
That's
actually
why,
I forgot to write that down actually, but yeah. So the original book came out in the 70s, I think. The author's name is Raymond Briggs. He's known for another book that got turned into a holiday special. It was called Father Christmas.
Yeah, I watched that one. Okay, so like the reason I say the Snowman is near and dear to my heart only because my mom had my mom had a lot of VHSs, but two VHS tapes she would always play at Christmas, almost on a loop, is the Snowman and Father Christmas, which is like a pseudo sequel to the Snowman, which we won't be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the original Snowman and then its sequel that came out, and I think in like 2012, the Snowman and the Snowdog. Which I got some words for that one, but we'll get to it after we talk about the original.
Yeah. So, which version of this did you watch? The original, I mean.
I didn't know there were multiple versions. I don't know.
Well, so how did yours start out? How did the version that you watched start out?
Well, it just got the boy, and he goes builds the snowman.
Okay, so it didn't have like a live action intro.
Not that I remember.
Okay. So I did a little bit of reading on this. There's 3 different intros for this. There's of course the version of the movie doesn't have an intro, but I don't think it was originally aired that way. Originally, when it aired, it had a live action intro with the author Raymond Briggs, kind of talking about, kind of reminiscing about the day that snowed so hard, and that was when he built the snowman. So that's the original intro that they aired like when it came out in the UK. When they brought it over to the US, they filmed a whole nother intro because they felt like they needed to film it with somebody who'd resonate more with Americans. And they had like a little short list of people that they were considering, and they finally settled on David Bowie. So David Bowie's on one of the live action intros for this. And it's quite literally, I think it's the same exact script that Raymond Briggs reads, but it's he's like it's David Bowie. He's like up in the attic, and like he opens up a chest, and he has like the scarf that the boy gets in the short.
All right.
But we'll go. Okay, but the thing that's cool about this is I already knew about this connection, but David Bowie, he was involved with another Raymond Briggs production. That was earlier when I was mentioning the other stuff that Raymond Briggs is known for, like the Father Christmas is one, but the other thing is he did a graphic novel called When the Wind Blows, and they turned that into an animated movie. And David Bowie did a song called When the Wind Blows. That was the title for that movie. And for anybody that's not seen that movie, it's depressing as hell. It's about this elderly couple who are like in their house when I think it's Russia like drops the bomb in like the UK, and so the whole movie, and I'm guessing the whole graphic novel is about them sort of enduring the fallout from the radiation, and them just like slowly dying in this cabin.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah,
like I haven't seen it, but I remember like seeing
I watched it like it must have been like a decade ago, and it's so fucking sad. Like we should definitely cover it on the show at some point. But anyway, yeah. So
we just need a month of episodes where we just get real sad.
Just sad month. I'm down for it.
Well, we'll watch that. Watch Watership Down and.
Oh god. Hey, I'm down, dude. I'm Watership Down.
No. Oh god.
But anyway, yeah. So there's the connection between Raymond Briggs and David Bowie was originally started with this live action intro for the Snowman, and then when they made When the Wind Blows into a movie, like in the '90s, I think there was another collaboration there. So, but there's another intro for the Snowman too, but it's an animated one. They did it for the 20th anniversary, and it's an animated one, and it actually has Father Christmas, and he's voiced by Mel Smith, who voiced him in the adaptation, the cartoon.
Right.
So that's a cool one. That's it's animated in sort of that same style. So, but it's probably the most aesthetically like fitting for the short.
Yeah.
Just because that Father Christmas is actually a character in this short and the
he shows up in the Snowman for like 3 seconds. And like if you've seen the Snowman, there's no dialogue to it all. It is all
just music.
It's just music, and like
there's one song that's walking, or what was it called? Walking in the Air. Yeah, and that's got lyrics in it, but aside from that, like 95% of the thing is just not even like. Is there sound effects, or is it just like orchestral sounds made to mimic sound effects?
Yeah, it's like it's just like regular cartoons where they use the music, quoting fingers, to like add emphasis to action. So like when something is excited, it's like a loud swell of instruments, just like playing a tone. So it always reacts to like whatever's going on in the scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember any of those intros. When we watched this as a kid, it literally just jumps straight into the short.
Right. Yeah, like I definitely remember watching this as a kid. I have like vague memories of watching it as a kid. It wasn't something that, because I don't remember if I really had like a lot of VHSs of like stuff growing up. Like I definitely did, but I don't know that we had like a huge collection of stuff. So I mainly caught like whatever specials they aired on television. And I know the Snowman was kind of like it was already regarded as a classic in the '90s. So if it was on TV, I probably watched it then. But I obviously I haven't rewatched it since I was a kid, so experience it again now with sort of like the respect that I have for animation now. It's and also the sequel too, because they're both done in the same style. It's honestly the visuals in these shorts are just incredible. Like,
well, I always found it real interesting, like even as a kid, like the animation is all like, it's basically colored pencil.
It's like pastels and
like, but so it's not like paint on cell. It's got like a scratchy kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it's like pastels, crayons, and other like mediums is what I read on the
right. And it's just
directly on
interesting because
celluloid.
yeah. But it was just interesting because they have so many of these like especially during like the flying scene, just like these camera sweeps where they're just like flying around and like having the camera like dip around the characters and like the environment, and just like the fact that they did that with like pastels and colored pencil and all that kind of stuff, it's just kind of amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Um
The backgrounds are done the same exact way too, so it's like
mhm.
this is something that you didn't really experience in a lot of cartoons, even now. Well, no, actually, now because of computers and stuff, it's a lot easier to hide. But with them
Mhm.
doing the backgrounds in the same exact style that they do, like the character animation and stuff, like in the same medium, you can't really tell like when somebody's about to like grab something or like a foreground
Right.
elements.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's
Um
yeah.
And I mean, it's done that way, I think, to mimic Raymond Briggs's books that are kind of done in that kind of colored pencil
Yeah,
style,
yeah,
which
absolutely.
it in terms of like mimicking or like recreating his style for the shorts. I mean, I think they did an amazing job doing that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was gonna ask, so apparently so you've seen Father Christmas, I haven't.
oh
I
yeah,
know
many times.
that I know that they mimic the style, but as far as, like,
It's
how
a
it's
lot.
done,
It's a
is
lot
it
more cleaned up.
right.
Because the snowman is very rough in some spots. I feel almost intentionally.
Yeah,
But Father Christmas does kind of have that like colored pencil kind of look to it, but it's a lot more cleaned up because I
sure,
think it
sure.
was made years later. I think it was made some like in the early '90s or something.
Yeah, I think it was in '91, because
And it's
I was trying to remember, from watching The Wind Blows, 'cause I know that they mimic his style, but I can't remember if it's animated this same exact way too. I gotta
mhm.
think not at least not like The Snowman, because I believe that that movie's, like, at least an hour long, and I can't imagine them doing, like, a whole feature like that. Um, you know what, though? I always kind of imagined, you're familiar with, Ponyo, right? The Ghibli movie?
Mhm.
I remember when they were, talking about how they wanted to originally animate that movie,
Yeah.
it seemed like they wanted to do it like something like this. Like, I mean, they wanted to do theirs with watercolor, but I just felt
Mhm.
like as far as the specific look of it, I felt like, it was gonna be it would probably would have been akin to something like this,
Sure, yeah.
which would have been
Um
interesting to see, but, unfortunately, I guess, watercolor isn't a viable way to do a feature film because it,
Not a feature film. I mean, I've seen watercolor animation done and like it can be done well, but yeah, trying to do that as a feature. I mean, hell, you look at Loving Vincent, which literally
still gotta see that.
every frame of that movie is like a full size oil painting. Um, and they auctioned all of them off. Um, and that
Yeah.
took them like 5+ years to make.
I still gotta check
Um,
that out. It looked really good.
it was really good. I mean, plot wise, it's all right. But like just from like a technical aspect, like the fact that it was not nominated, or I don't, maybe it was nominated for best animated feature. I don't remember. It didn't win, and it was robbed that year. I don't care what else, or maybe shit. Hold on, this is gonna
Yeah,
bug this.
that gets kinda like in some weird gray area though, because it's like that. So that's a rotoscoped movie, and I'm not sure like what the Academy's guidelines are for that sort of thing. Because if we're counting rotoscoped movies, I mean like A Scanner Darkly, that's another rotoscoped movie. Like not obviously not done in the same exact style, but I mean they basically they filmed the whole movie and then they like
Okay,
animated on top of it. So I mean that is
okay.
animation, but I don't know like what their criteria is for that sort of thing.
So Loving Vincent was nominated for an Oscar, but it lost to Coco.
Well, I mean, Coco's a great movie though,
Coco
but
is a good
but
movie.
it did win. It is a Disney movie, so
This is Disney. Of course, it was also against Boss Baby and Ferdinand.
I can't speak for Ferdinand, but Boss Baby was better than expected. I'm sure you guys must have covered that.
Oh no, I completely avoided it
Oh,
completely because it
really?
looked awful.
Hey, you know what? Let's review it sometime in the coming year because I think you'll be surprised. I had the same exact thoughts, and then
Is this gonna be like a crude situation where it looked dumb as fuck from the outside, but when we watch it, it's actually like really good?
I can't speak for the Crudes. I've never seen it, but if that
It's
was
a
the
good movie.
situation, there, yeah. Well, because that's another DreamWorks movie, right?
Yeah,
So
DreamWorks is
yeah,
sneaky, man.
they're very sneaky. Well, apparently, like all their cartoons are supposed to be better than the movies, even too, right? I haven't actually watched any of those, but
I don't
that's what
know.
I've always heard. Anyway,
Yeah.
we went off on a tangent. We're talking about the Snowman right now.
Yeah. So yeah, this was a staple in at my mom's house every Christmas. So I've watched the Snowman. I don't even know how many times that the song that plays when the boy and the snowman are flying has been burned into my skull. And it like and that's the thing, like the song that they play there is like it's very haunting, but also like a
Just
very like
very moving, just beautiful
yeah.
song. Although you know what, my my memory of that song is a little tainted because like as you probably watch this one a lot more often than I did as a kid, but this song I have more of an association with uh Nightwish did a cover of the song, and it's a really good cover. But the reason I'm familiar with it is because there's a video on YouTube, and you can go look it up. It's called Lawnmower Dreams, and it's a video of like a lawnmower like mowing like really quick across a lawn, and then like it takes off and it just starts flying through the air like an RC plane. Yeah, and so they have Nightwish's cover of that song playing during it, and I haven't stopped thinking about that video for probably like a decade now. Like
That's funny.
It's so good.
But yeah, I mean the Snowman is a very it's a very simple story. It's just like a boy goes out, he builds a snowman, the snowman comes to life, and they go on an adventure. They go to a snowman party at the North Pole. Santa shows up for a hot second. They go home, and there you go.
Snowman melts and just leaves a pile of clothes, and the kid cries in the snow, and that's the ending.
Yeah.
So it's very sad, but hey, the whole the rest of the short before that's very very entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the fucking sequel ends pretty much the same way.
Yeah, pretty much. Although, like, yes. Okay, are we gonna move on to talking about the sequel?
Because I have some words for this sequel.
Sure. So yeah,
I just want to say up front, the sequel is fucking depressing.
Yeah,
like
well,
the beginning and the end, like, are needlessly depressing.
I don't know. I feel like the beginning, yeah, you have a case for that, but I feel like the ending, in a way, is less sad than the original. Obviously, spoilers if you haven't seen this. It is from 2012, so I mean, you're such a big fan of the Snowman, you didn't even know there was a sequel.
I didn't even know it existed. So
yeah, so spoilers for Snowman and the Snowdog. Yeah, the ending is basically the same. Well, actually, let's talk about the intro first. So the intro is
it's a new boy, and he and his mom
yeah, they don't really say or allude to how much time has passed, but there's definitely been time.
I guess. I mean, the one thing I do like about the original Snowman, and I guess in this, it kind of has a timeless quality to it. It's not really set in any one particular
era
per se. I think in maybe the original Snowman, maybe they have I think they have a TV and everything. I think, but yeah, there's no any real something to date it really. But yeah, this new boy and his mom are moving into a new house, and they got a dog, which it took me a little while because the dog is in the front of the movie van, and he's having trouble getting out of the van, so the boy has to go get the dog. And I guess it's I thought the dog was just originally oh, the dog's just kind of weird because it's a new house and stuff.
That's what I thought too.
And then the next thing he just fucking dies. Oh, well, I guess the dog was old or something.
Yeah.
And that's why he's dead. But yeah, there's this fucking scene where the boy and his mom have to go bury the dog in the backyard because he died.
They
just out of nowhere.
They have his collar and the ball he used to play with, and yeah, it was very sad.
Yeah, but then And then it comes the part that, yeah, like, there's no reason other than like the plot needs to happen. The boy just happens to find a loose floorboard in his house. Um, and inside is a box with all of the original Snowman's uh accessories. Um,
and a photo of the original
and
kid
a
with
photo
the
of him,
snowman.
the old boy and the snowman. So it's like, one, how did that get there? Because I do not believe that the house they moved into is the same house as that boy, because that house the boy was at the boy from the original one was out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that I was a little. I felt a little weird about that too. I was just like, maybe
So
they.
unless they're implying that like a town built up around that house and that is the original house, but because there's no dialogue, we're literally going off of body language.
Well, the other
There's
thought that I had was that the original kid moved to this house and he put that stuff in the floorboard before. Obviously, so this wouldn't be the original house that happened in the original short, but
right.
maybe the kid moved there and then he had put that stuff in the floorboard and then forgotten about it with age and just left it there.
I honestly just took it as like, we need to make a Snowman sequel and we need to somehow recreate the original Snowman.
Yeah.
Logic be damned.
Well,
So yeah,
not just the snowman though.
yeah, he makes a snow dog this time because he's sad that he lost his dog, and he's got a photo of his dog next to his bed, and obviously he's still kind of grappling with the feelings of losing a dog, which I totally understand, and got a little sad when the dog died, because obviously I've lost a pet before, and it is a difficult time, don't get me wrong. So yeah, he makes a little snow dog. I did think it was funny that he's trying to build the snowman and keeps like referencing the picture. But he like uses up all the snow in his yard, and he still needs to find enough snow to make the head.
Well, even then, once he's got enough of the snow, he's like having trouble getting the proportions right. Like, where to put
Yeah.
the eyes, like they're crooked, and like he has to
Yeah.
go inside his house to find like different fruit to use for the nose and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that was a funny scene in that one.
So yeah, he makes the snowman, and apparently has enough snow left over to make a snow dog. Um,
Little sock ears.
Yeah, and then it kind of plays out kind of similar to the original one, where the snowman, and I guess to the extent the snow dog, come to life. They have a little bit of shenanigans in the house, and then they fly off to the snowman party like they do in the original. They meet
Except they totally just steal someone's plane on the way
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, they just they just straight up steal someone's plane, and then fly in the plane all the way there, even though the snowman totally has the power to fly.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't. So that kind of confused me until later on when they're kind of given the signal for one of the other snowmen that they fly with. He's like in an aviator costume, and
mhm.
I feel like maybe they took it because of him. Like they were trying to get him a real plane or something,
I have no idea.
or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So
Well,
they go
yeah,
to a party like in the original. They go to a little snowman party. They have a race. Who does he? There's a bunch of snowmen in the race, but the boy gets in front of them all, and then is it a penguin? I'm trying to remember.
for some reason there's a penguin on skis also in the race, and the boy and the dog and the penguin are all racing. And like the penguin like seems kind of pissed off about it while they're racing, but as soon as he loses, he just kind of waddles off screen. You don't see him again.
It's like, oh well, that's over.
Yep.
Next story
Uh,
being.
yeah, and then so yeah, that the whole that whole bit kind of plays out pretty similar to the original Snowman. Um, but it's not until they go back that it kind of differs, because now you have the dog. Um, and the boy is like, saying goodbye to the snowman and the snow dog, because it's morning and he needs to go back inside, but through Santa gave the boy a present, and turns out it's a dog collar, and I guess through some kind of Christmas Santa magic, it turns the snow dog into a real dog. That hit
So I didn't like the implications of this. because
I thought it was very strange.
No, I thought of just like, what if you put the collar on the snowman and he just turned into this naked man? Like
Large naked man.
like I didn't like the implications of how that collar worked.
I'm sure through Santa magic it would have only worked for the dog.
Yeah, maybe,
I'd
or
like
maybe,
at least I'd like to believe that.
or at least maybe Santa's a freak.
He might be. He spends a lot of time up in the North Pole. Who knows what he does?
I don't
Um,
know. I'm not familiar with Raymond Briggs' interpretation of Father Christmas. You are. Is he a freak or what?
so it's weird because apparently Raymond Briggs' version of Santa lives in a house in Britain, has a dog and a cat and some reindeer, and he just lives like a normal dude. Um, gets mail and like tends to his garden and stuff. He like doesn't live at the North Pole. He just lives in a house in London.
Right.
And then just one year he decides he's gonna go on vacation, so then he goes on vacations all over the world, and the only place that he really likes is Las Vegas because he gets shit faced.
Oh.
He shit faced, gambles, gets sunburnt, and then he sees the bill and he's like, "Well, I should probably go home now."
Oh, we should cover this next year.
Oh yeah, it is something. It's goofy as fuck. And yeah, and that's the weird crossover with the snowman is that because in the original Snowman, the boy and the snowman go to the snowman party and Santa's there. But when you watch Father Christmas, it shows him going to that party and then the boy and the snowman show up.
Yeah, and so that animated intro for the 20th anniversary of the Snowman that has Father Christmas.
Yeah, that's the same guy.
Well, yeah, it's the same guy, but he actually does talk, and he's like, "Oh, I remember this party that oh no, it's weird because they're treating the snowman as a cartoon special, and he's like, "Oh, turn it up, the snowman's almost on. I was at that party. I gave him his scarf and everything. Like it's so bizarre. Like
it's weird.
it makes sense because it's the 20th anniversary of the thing, so of course, 20 years of people watching this thing, they know, like, it's near and dear to their hearts, but still, like, it's funny. Like, I'm imagining if they would have made that intro like originally for its original airing, and like how weirdly like it would have been placed there. Like,
yeah. But yeah, so the fucking Snowdog becomes a real dog, and apparently his mom is just cool with this because you never see her like throwing a fit about it. Because he brings the dog inside and they fall asleep together, and then he wakes up and you have that oh shit moment because the dog's gone. He's like, "Oh, is it all a dream?" and whatever. It's like, no, the dog's just down scratching because he probably needs to go pee.
yeah,
And, it's alive now. It's
and
just yeah. Then they go outside. It's the same ending for the first short. The snowman's melting. They sit there and they play somber music as they like sadly look at his decayed corpse.
Yeah, well, okay, so now this is the thing that I feel like makes it less sad than the original, because the boy came out of it with a new dog, and like even when they're kind of mourning the snowman, like he's there, he's petting the dog, like he's still got the dog after the end of all this. He didn't even think he was gonna have that dog. Like, I feel like it makes it less sad than the original. Like, but
I mean, guess like, a little bit.
The concept of it, like, yeah, the whole concept of the sequel, sure, the idea of it, like, him having a deceased, old dog, and then like getting this replacement for it that he thinks is only going to last like for the night. Like, yeah, that's definitely, sad, but yeah, the way it ended up playing out, like, I feel like it's still sad, but I feel not as sad as the original.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this entire short is very strange.
It is pretty strange, and so I'm going to talk about the production a little bit now because I took a few notes on it. This is not based on a book. This was an original creation for the special.
Right.
It took a lot of persuasion for the author to let this happen because he retains all the rights to, the characters of the snowman and everything. Apparently they've been trying to make a sequel to this for like a long time, and he just finally relented, like in, the early 2010s.
Right.
Finally made it happen. They had a lot of the same crew that worked on the original come back for it. Like as far as the technical stuff, like, the actual animation stuff. I was reading. I couldn't find a estimate on how much it took to produce the original Snowman, but Snowman as Snowdog cost £2 million to produce, which
Huh.
I don't know off the top of my head how much that is in American dollars, but it was saying that it was 200,000 hand drawn images, which I imagine is probably like how much the original was too, because they're like a similar length. Um, and yeah, because like a lot of the specials animated like pretty much the same exact way as the original, though there is a very noticeable addition of some CG stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was reading on the Wikipedia for it, and it was saying that CG was used for falling snow and lighting, but I'm
That
pretty sure that plane was done in CG too.
it's either
Like,
it's either it was either CG or like heavily rotoscoped. But yeah,
yeah,
I definitely noticed the plane, like that looks a
it stuck
little out of place.
it stuck out a little bit. Like, I'm not going to say it took me out or anything, because I mean the rest of the shorts like still animated just as well as the original was, but yeah, it was
Mhm.
just it was a little jarring to see.
Yeah, for sure.
And then a note about the music too was that the original composer for the original short, Howard Blake,
Mhm.
he was one of the few crew members that was not asked to return. But
Huh.
apparently, well, yeah. So this is a weird thing. He did all of the music for the original. Um,
Mhm.
like he even did "Walking in the Air." Like he didn't sing it, but composed it. Um,
Mhm.
so they didn't ask him to come back. He expressed interest in coming back, and I guess they asked him to send in a test, like a demo or something. And he, for good reason, he refused, because he was like, "Have you not watched The Snowman? Like, I
It's
did
like
all that."
I think my previous work speaks for itself.
It pretty much, apparently that was like the response to it. So yeah, he didn't come back for this. And you can kind of tell the music for this one is a bit different from the original. Like the original kind of stuck to more of like the orchestral stuff.
Mhm.
In this one there is a bit more of a modern um uh, I don't want to say a modern take on the music, but there's definitely more of they're using more sort of instruments associated with like sort of like poppy stuff in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, for sure.
um, and then, it is still wordless like the original, but they do have one song in the movie that does have lyrics. Which the song is okay. Definitely not as strong as "Walking in the Air." It's
Oh,
called
yeah, for sure.
"Light the Night," I think it's called. Um,
Yeah.
and
It's from some band I've never heard of.
well, it was done by the drummer of some band you've never heard of.
Exactly.
But it's okay. I think it's weird that they play it twice in the movie though. So because like in the original, "Walking in the Air" plays just during that one whole stint, and then they don't go back to it except for like motifs in the score. But
Right.
they played the "Light the Night" song when they're doing the original flying sequence, and then they play it again when they're coming back. So um the lyrics in like two parts in the movie instead of one long strip like the original. It's a bit different, but I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
obviously not deal breaker, but that's just one thing that sets it apart.
Yeah,
Uh,
I wasn't big on the new song, and it just seemed very strange.
it was okay.
It
It
was
was just okay.
alright, but it's I don't know. I it almost kinda surprises it doesn't sorry, it doesn't surprise me that I didn't hear of, the sequel short, um, because I just watching it, it doesn't strike me as something that, like, is going to be, like the original short that is such a timeless classic and is, like, endured for over 40 years now. Um, I just don't see this sequel being something that people revisit nearly as often as they do the original.
Well, because the thing is, it's basically, aside from some deviations, it's beat for beat, like mostly a recreation of the original. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
If they would have gone in a completely different direction for it, then
Mhm.
yeah, maybe. But I guess they were just sort of so preoccupied with trying to recapture the magic of the original. And
Exactly.
in certain aspects they did. The animation still like, looks great just like the original.
Mhm.
Um yeah, it's just one of those things. Well, anyway, okay, so I alluded to this before we started recording, but I wanted to wait to hear your reaction. But so you're talking about how sad the ending was.
Yeah.
So would it make it less sad if I told you that they made 2 minute long advertisements that continue the story?
For the sequel?
Yes. So
I guess depending on what happens.
well, nothing like, okay, so there's two of them. They're both a minute long. They're advertisements for a British clothing company called Barber. Um,
Okay.
and so they released them in 2016 and 2017. And basically, in both shorts, it's the kid and the dog is there, and like the mom, and the snowman comes back, and it's just like, a nice little, well, actually, okay, the 2016 advert, if I remember right, about half of it's just reused footage from Snowman the Snowdog, and then the other half is just like the kid who's like a teen, I think now, and his dog just sort of walking through the snow reminiscing about it, but the teen is wearing like a jacket from this clothing company.
All
In
right.
the one in 2017, it's brand new, and the snowman shows up at their door, and he opens it up, and the kid is like an adult now, and I think he's got like his own family, and like the dog's a bit older, and yeah, they're just sort of like sitting around the fire, and the snowman opens up this present, and it has a jacket from this clothing company, and he puts it on,
No.
and yeah, so there is continuations to Snowman and the Snowdog, and they are 2 minute long advertisements for a British clothing
I don't
company.
know if that makes it better or worse. It makes it less it's like I don't know if that makes it more or less depressing actually.
Yeah, because the
That the
thing
snowman has been reduced to this.
yeah, I never took the snowman for like being this sort of materialistic thing. I was just
Yeah, it's just like this timeless, like wholesome little story, and then
okay. So actually, this was something I wanted to note during our Grinch episode.
yeah.
This is something that they don't talk about in the Illumination version, but in the original Grinch and the 60s adaptation, and I think the live action movie, the whole moral of the story is that capitalism is not what Christmas is. Christmas is togetherness and being with family, or togetherness and stuff. Just because in between when we recorded that episode and now, I saw an image that was it showed it was a compilation of all the merchandising they put out for the Grinch movie, like, yeah,
Yeah.
and like they had like the deal with IHOP, and like all like the clothing and the toys and everything, and it was just
I
like
mean,
it was
it
such a
was
funny contrast, like
it was like when the Lorax came out and
car advertisements.
yeah, exactly.
God, uh,
So, but
yeah,
yeah, the original Snowman, I would say it's a timeless classic. I feel like most people have probably seen it. If you haven't, I would definitely recommend the original because it's only like 20 minutes long. It's beautiful animation. The music is really good, and I think it's just
David Bowie's there if you watch the right version. It's a
right.
good time
Yeah,
all around.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know if I think the watching the sequel is wholly necessary, but if you like the original enough, then I mean, I guess there's no harm in watching it. But you know, I could say I'm not upset that I watched it because now I can say that I have. But
Yeah.
um, I don't know if I would rewatch it nearly as much as I would ever rewatch the original Snowman, which I haven't actually watched in years. This is the first time I've seen it in a while, so um, you know. Um, but yeah, Matt, is there anything else you wanted to say on these Christmas shorts?
Nah, I mean, yeah, definitely check out the original Snowman if you haven't, or if you haven't rewatched it in a long time, go back and rewatch it. It's a great Christmas special. And then yeah, and if you really like it and you'd like to see more, check out Snowman and Snowdog. It's I would definitely say worth at least one watch. Like you said, it's probably not going to be highly regarded as the classic that the Snowman is, if ever. But
Right.
it was a nice attempt. It's like
Yeah.
when you see these continuations like so many years later of stuff like when we got those Invader Zim and Rocco specials on Netflix, like so many
Right.
years after the original shows, like it's always nice to see like official sort of revisitations of stuff every now and then.
Yeah, for sure. Well, all right, guys, there you go. That's our thoughts on the Snowman, and the Snowdog, all that good stuff. Definitely Christmas classic and a sequel to a classic. But thank you everybody for listening, and we will be back again tomorrow or whenever the fuck I put these out. They'll all be out before Christmas or by Christmas Day. I'll know that much at least. We'll be back again the next episode with more Christmas joy. But until then, everybody be safe and do whatever holiday shenanigans you feel necessary to do.
We'll see you in a bit.
All right, we'll see you later, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the show. Join our Discord to chat with us, and subscribe to our Patreon for some cool bonuses. Links are in the description. We'll see you next time.